Inside Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah's wedding, the bouquet toss moment. Tonight, we are not here to spread rumors. We are here to slow everything down. To rewind the timeline. To examine what was said, what was never said, and what might have been hidden in plain sight all along. And trust me, you may think you know this story already. But wait. Here's where it gets crazy. What if the most iconic moment of Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah's wedding, the one that's already sparking endless debates and replays across social media, wasn't just a simple tradition, but a carefully orchestrated symbol of their decade-long love story, a moment that whispered secrets of resilience, hope, and unspoken promises. Imagine this, a bouquet soaring through the air, not merely as a playful game, but as a profound emblem of the trials they've overcome together, landing in hands that could change everything. But before we dive into that electric instant, let's pull back the curtain on how two of South Korea's most beloved stars finally walked down the aisle after 10 years of quiet devotion, turning a private ceremony into a tale that's captivating the world. Hold on tight, the world of your favorite celebrities is unfolding before your eyes, and every moment is more breathtaking than the last. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Picture this unfolding like a scene from a grand K-drama, where every glance carries weight and every silence speaks volumes. It all began back in 2015, when whispers first emerged of a budding romance between the tall, charismatic model-turned-actor Kim Woo-bin and the ethereal, ever-graceful Shin Min-ah. They met through a fashion campaign, their chemistry sparking instantly amid the flash of cameras and the rustle of designer fabrics. But their story wasn't one of instant fairy tale bliss. No, it was forged in the fires of real life, tested by the kind of challenges that would break lesser bonds. Kim Woo-bin's battle with nasopharyngeal cancer in 2017 could have been the end of many relationships, a shadow that loomed large over their future. Yet Shin Min-ah stood by him unwaveringly, her support a quiet fortress in the storm of treatments and uncertainties. She visited him during his recovery, shared subtle messages of encouragement through her work, and together they navigated the glare of public scrutiny without ever confirming or denying the depth of their connection. For years, they let actions speak louder than words, attending events separately but always with that knowing spark in their eyes that fans dissected endlessly. And now, fast forward to December 20th, 2025, at the opulent Shilla Hotel in Seoul, where under a blanket of fresh snow, they finally sealed their vows in a ceremony that blended intimacy with star-studded elegance. But wait. Here's where it gets crazy. What if this wedding wasn't just a celebration, but a masterful reveal of the layers they've hidden for so long, culminating in a bouquet toss that held the room, and now the world, in suspended breath? As the winter sun dipped low over the city, casting a golden hue on the snow-dusted grounds, guests began to arrive at the Shilla, a venue renowned for its timeless luxury and discretion. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of pine and fresh florals, as if nature itself had conspired to create the perfect backdrop for this long-awaited union. Among the attendees were close friends from the industry, actors, directors, and fellow philanthropists who had witnessed the couple's journey firsthand. There was a palpable sense of reverence in the air, not the flashy pomp of celebrity excess, but a subdued sophistication that mirrored the couple's own style. Shin Min-ah, radiant in a bespoke gown that flowed like whispered silk, her hair adorned with delicate pearls evoking a winter queen, walked down the aisle with a poise that spoke of inner strength. Kim Woo-bin, handsome as ever in a tailored tuxedo, his eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that betrayed the depth of his emotions. The vows they exchanged were personal, poetic even, touching on themes of endurance and quiet love, references to the snowy paths they've walked together, both literally and metaphorically. Tears glistened in the eyes of those present, and as they sealed their promises with a kiss, the room erupted in soft, heartfelt applause. But this was only the beginning. The real drama, the moment that would etch itself into the annals of K-entertainment history, was yet to come at the reception, where tradition met destiny in the form of a simple bouquet. The reception hall was a vision of understated opulence, with crystal chandeliers casting a warm glow over tables adorned with winter blooms, roses and soft blushes, interspersed with evergreen sprigs that nodded to the season's magic. Soft music played in the background, a blend of classical strings and subtle K-pop ballads that the couple had curated themselves, each song a nod to milestones in their relationship. Guests mingled, sharing stories of how Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah had inspired them through their philanthropy, from donations to children's hospitals to quiet acts of kindness during tough times. Laughter filled the air as toasts were raised, glasses clinking in celebration of a love that had weathered storms and emerged stronger. But as the evening progressed, the anticipation built toward the traditions that make weddings unforgettable. The cake cutting was sweet, symbolic, with the couple feeding each other bites amid playful smiles. Yet everyone knew what was coming next, the bouquet toss, a ritual often dismissed as mere fun, but in this case, laden with deeper meaning. Shin had chosen her bouquet with care, a cascade of white lilies and blush peonies, tied with a ribbon that matched the one Kim Woo-bin had given her years ago during his recovery. It wasn't just flowers, it was a vessel of their shared history, ready to be passed on. But wait. Here's where it gets crazy. What if this toss wasn't random at all, but a deliberate gesture toward a future intertwined with fate, friendship, and perhaps even a hint of the unexpected? The moment arrived as the host, a close friend of the couple, took the microphone with a knowing grin, announcing the bouquet toss to the unmarried guests. The room hushed slightly, a wave of excitement rippling through the crowd as women, and a few daring men, gathered in a loose semicircle on the dance floor. Shin ascended a small, elegantly lit platform, the spotlight softening her features into something almost ethereal. She held the bouquet close to her chest for a lingering second, her eyes closing briefly as if in silent prayer or reflection. Was she thinking back to the early days of their romance, the uncertainties they faced? Or perhaps envisioning the joy this bouquet might bring to its catcher? Kim Woo-bin stood just off to the side, his arms crossed casually, but his gaze fixed on her with that signature intensity, a subtle smile playing on his lips as if he knew something the rest of US didn't. The guests leaned in, breaths held, the air thick with anticipation. And then, with a graceful turn, Shin raised the bouquet high, her laughter bubbling up like champagne as she prepared to let it fly. But she paused again, just for a heartbeat longer than expected, turning her head slightly to catch Kim Woo-bin's eye. In that instant, a silent conversation passed between them, a nod to their past, a promise for the future. The room seemed to hold its collective breath, the music fading into the background, every eye riveted on this poised figure. Finally, with a fluid motion that echoed her years of on-screen elegance, Shin tossed the bouquet over her shoulder, sending it arcing through the air in a perfect parabola of petals and ribbon. Time seemed to slow as it sailed, the flowers catching the light like falling stars, guests reaching out with eager hands and exclamations of delight. Whispers turned to gasps as the bouquet tumbled end over end, defying expectations by veering slightly to the left, away from the cluster of obvious contenders. And then, in a twist that felt scripted by the gods of drama themselves, it landed squarely in the outstretched arms of a close friend, a fellow actress who had been by Shin Min's side through thick and thin, her expression shifting from surprise to sheer joy in an instant. The room exploded in cheers, applause thundering like a summer storm, with laughter echoing off the walls as the catcher clutched the bouquet to her chest, her face flushing with a mix of embarrassment and elation. Shin spun around immediately, her eyes widening in genuine delight, a peal of laughter escaping her lips as she clapped her hands together. She descended the platform with quick steps, enveloping her friend in a warm embrace, whispering words that only they could hear but which drew smiles from those nearby. Kim Woo-bin joined them moments later, his tall frame leaning in to offer a congratulatory hug, his deep voice murmuring something that elicited more giggles from the group. But wait. Here's where it gets crazy. In the aftermath, whispers began to circulate. Had the toss been aimed just so, a subtle nod to this friend's own budding romance? Or was it pure chance, a serendipitous alignment that mirrored the couple's own unexpected path to love? As the night wore on, that bouquet toss became more than a fleeting tradition, it transformed into the heartbeat of the evening, a symbol woven into the fabric of their story. Guests replayed it in hushed conversations, noting how it captured the essence of Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min's relationship, playful yet profound, unexpected yet inevitable. The couple danced under the chandeliers, their steps synchronized after years of harmony, while the bouquet sat proudly on a side table, its petals a promise of new beginnings for whoever held it next. In the days that followed, as photos from their snowy photo shoot leaked out, images of them strolling hand in hand through a winter wonderland, smiles bright against the white backdrop, the world latched onto that toss as the defining image. It wasn't just about who caught it, it was about the pause before the release, the shared glances, the eruption of joy that followed. It spoke to resilience, to the beauty of waiting for the right moment, much like their 10-year journey. And as fans dissected every frame, from the elegant vows to that airborne bouquet, one thing became clear, this wasn't merely a wedding. It was a masterpiece of love, scripted by life itself, with the bouquet toss as its climactic reveal. But wait. Here's where it gets crazy. What if that moment was only the beginning, a hint at even more stories yet to unfold in their happily ever after? As the snow continues to fall outside the Shilla, blanketing Seoul in quiet magic, we can't help but wonder, what secrets will their next chapter hold? As the cheers faded and the newlyweds retreated to mingle with their closest circle, the evening's magic lingered like the soft snowfall outside the Shilla's grand windows. But the story doesn't end there. No, this wedding was layered with moments that felt destined, whispers of friendship, loyalty, and those subtle threads that connect the stars of Korean entertainment in ways fans can only dream about. And as details trickled out in the hours and days that followed, through discreet agency posts, fleeting glimpses from attendees, and the inevitable buzz that no private ceremony can fully escape, the world began to piece together the full tapestry of December 20th, 2025. But wait. Here's where it gets crazy. What if the bouquet toss, that playful ritual we all imagined in vivid detail, took on an entirely different form in reality, one tied not to chance, but to a guest whose mere presence turned heads and sparked 1,000 theories? In the aftermath of the vows, as the reception unfolded in the elegant Dynasty Hall, the atmosphere shifted from solemn reverence to warm celebration. Venerable Pomnian Sunim, the respected monk known for his profound wisdom, had officiated the ceremony with words that touched on impermanence, compassion, and the beauty of shared paths, perfectly mirroring the couple's own journey through adversity and quiet strength. Singer Kar, the Garden, delivered a congratulatory performance that brought tears to many eyes, his soulful voice weaving through the room like a gentle embrace. Close friend Kwang Soo, with his trademark humor and heartfelt sincerity, hosted the event, keeping the mood light while honoring the depth of the occasion. And among the select guests, family, relatives, and a handful of industry confidants, were faces that spoke volumes about the couple's cherished bonds. EXO's Dio slipping in briefly despite his packed schedule at the Melon Music Awards, Joo Hyuk offering quiet congratulations, and even BTS's V, whose unexpected appearance became one of the night's most whispered highlights.